Welcome back to another session. My name is Dimitris Tosidis, and today I'm going to speak about machine learning with AWS. I have done a presentation already, so I'm going to share it with you in order to start the presentation. I'm going to share my screen. So today I'm going to speak about the AWS service AWS SageMaker, which help us to build models and deploy them, of course. In the next session is the deployment. So today I'm going to speak and I'm going to show the functions. This is a tutorial on how to build a model using the AWS SageMaker service. Okay, this is for the AWS machine learning knowledge degree, and this is my name, Dimitris Tosidis. This is a tutorial about two main libraries, let's say. There are two approaches for in the AWS SageMaker. The first one is the SageMaker Python SDK, which is an open source library, Python library. So AWS SageMaker provides this library inside the notebook. You can write Python code, and there are some APIs that you can call in order to train your model, create your model, and also test your model, and to have the trained model at the end, and model that you can make some predictions. The second approach is the AWS SDK for Python. So this is another library that integrates Python code inside the AWS services. And what it does is to create AWS resources. So you have the first approach that it is a high-level approach. So you have some APIs and you are just call the APIs in order to make your model. And the second one is an approach, a low-level approach. You create the AWS resources with service calls, and this is a more detailed approach in order to build your model. Okay, so I'm going to show both of them. This is a brief tutorial about both of them in the next slides. Let's go to the first one. So what you have to do at the beginning is that you take your data and you have to upload them inside the S3 bucket. So the S3 bucket is the default place inside the AWS infrastructure in order to launch your data and for service to launch the data. And you have to upload some data to an S3 bucket, to the default S3 bucket, or to other S3 buckets that you can make too. So uploading the data fails to S3. So the first thing that we have to do is to import SageMaker module from the library, and after that, SageMaker session that we are currently operating in. So you have to make a session object. So this is a session object. This is a subclass of the SageMaker. It's a class of SageMaker module, the session. And this makes the session object, which can call the APIs of the library. And of course, can create afterwards all the AWS resources. So you got here the SageMaker session, and you have your session, and after that, you have the IAM role. So about the S3 bucket and the IAM role, I have shown this in a previous session inside the inside other presentations. So you can have the IAM role as you can create and set up your notebook, and you can get the execution role with this method, get execution role as it is, like that. And at the end, you can upload to S3 bucket with upload data. So this is the function that you can call from the session. So session.upload data, and inside that, you have to assign the operating system path, and to join it with the join, you can call the directory of this path. So here, this is the name of the training data, and this is the path. Of course, in the same manner, you can allocate it, the testing data and the validation data if you want to use them, and so on. And of course, you set up here a prefix in order to make your bucket unique. So you have in order to make a bucket unit. So you have the several data. You put the prefix and you have this train location inside the S3 bucket. Okay, so you have the data already up. You have already uploaded the data. And after that, you are going to train the data, to train a model with this data. So you have SageMaker provides some built-in algorithms So inside the SageMaker, there are some Docker containers which have already the code of these models. For example, you can have this XGBoost algorithm here, which is based on random trees, and it's a very famous algorithm. So there is a specific Docker container. So you put here the region name of your AWS session. You put here the name of the Docker container, which is also the name of the algorithm. And you take an image which has the algorithm code. Okay, with this get image URL. Okay. So this is the identification of this Docker container. You get the identification of the Docker container, which has the XGBoost code inside it, and you assign it to the container variable. After that, you have to create the estimator object. So the estimator is a SageMaker API, which help us to train our model. So you got here the SageMaker module inside that class estimator and the subclass estimator, which calls the API. So you construct here the estimator object, and here you have to put some arguments inside it. So the first one is the container, which you take it from here, in which you define that you want the XGBoost algorithm. And the second one is the IAM role. So this is for this estimator which access you want to give it. Okay, and afterwards you have to put the number of instances, instance type, for example, ml.m4.extralarge, which is a specific instance type for machine learning jobs and machine learning operations, let's say. And after that, you have here to define the S3, the location inside the, to take the location of the S3 bucket. So here you have the session.default bucket. So here you put the data in a default bucket, not in another bucket, and you put here the prefix, which gives the unique name of this S3 bucket. Okay, so you put this, you take this and you put them here inside these spaces. These are arguments of it, and you take this as this is the output path where the data are located inside the S3 service, inside the specific S3 bucket. And at the end, you have also to specify the session, because this is a specific session which you give it this estimator object to a specific location inside. You take the object from the session and you give it to a specific S3 bucket, a specific S3 location inside an S3 bucket. Okay, so right now you got the estimator object and you got the algorithm already in order to be trained. So the second step is to set up the hyperparameters. Okay, you got the algorithm, you have to set the hyperparameters in order to be trained accordingly, according to the data that you have to feed it. So here you have the estimator object, which you have given the name XGB, and this is a function set hyperparameters of this API. So you have here to give the max depth, for example, of this algorithm. So this algorithm is a tree, and the random trees, so they have some depth. And after that, eta, gamma, minimum child weight. So the algorithm has some weights, and you have to give them the weights in order not to overfit, because these algorithms are prone to overfitting. And after that, sample. And at the end, the objective is which is the subject, the objective of this algorithm this time. So this time it is a linear regression, for example, if you want to have a continuous number of data, a line of data. So this is a linear regression this time. And you got here the stopping rounds in order not to have overfitting. So if you don't have after 10 iterations a better solution to the algorithm, then the algorithm stops, and this is the best solution. The solution has been found, let's say. So after that, the number of iterations that, for example, number of rounds, 200. Okay, so these are the hyperparameters that are tuning the model, and you have specified the model, you have tuned the model, and it is all ready to be trained. So what do you need to train the model? Of course, you need data. After that, and after that is the fit method. So with the fit method, you train the model. So you got here SageMaker again, .s3 input. So this is a method of the SageMaker where you assign the data inside the variable, and here you get this S3 input. So you get access of the S3 bucket with this S3 input. So S3 data, you said here that inside the S3 bucket, we got somewhere this train location, and we want to take it in order to use it. And this is the content type CSV. And this, you take this and you put it here inside, you assign it to this variable S3 input train. In the same way, you can do that with the validation data. Okay, in the next line. So SageMaker.s3 input, S3 data. This time the validation location is the val location with the validation data, and the content type again is CSV. Okay, comma separated values. And again, you take these two data sets from the S3 bucket, and you can put it here. So you call the fit method from the API, and here you have these two arguments, which are key values. These are two arguments that are dictionaries. So you got this, they have this label. So this label here is the train label, where it's a specific label for the training data. And you put here the training data that you have taken from the S3 bucket. And here there's another label validation, which you have to put the validation data. And this is the values from the S3 bucket again, where there are the validation data. Okay, and after that, if you call this, then the model is created and trained. Okay, and you got after that the trained model. So after that, you have used this estimator API. You have trained the model, but what you have to do, of course, it is to test the model. Okay, in order to say, to find the accuracy and if this model is good enough for your work. And so you have to share another API from this Python library, and you have the transformer API. So this is a batch transform API, which takes the data, makes batch out of it, and makes the inference in this manner. Okay, so you don't have to know all the details back of it. So the whole transformation takes place with this API. And as you can see here, you got here the estimator object, and you build here this transformer object inside it. So you have this transformer API, and you put here the instance number. So you want only one instance to make the whole inference. Okay, so you make an inference in order to test your model. And here with the transformer API, and here the instance type has to be ml.m4.extract again, which is a very nice instance type, which gives you a whole very much power in order to make the inference. So the patch transform job here, so you have the transformer object and you apply this function in order to make the transformation job. And here you have the transform function. You put here the location of the test data set, and here the content type is CSV. And here this time, this is a batch. You have the split timeline. So every line is gonna make a batch, and this batch is gonna test in a batch. It's gonna test with batches your model. Okay, and the job, all of this, the transformation, the trainings are called jobs. Okay, and this is gonna take some time, so you can apply this wait function to the transformer object in order to wait and have a progress bar to see the progress of the testing and to wait about the result. And after that, when you get the result, of course, you can copy the output to somewhere that you want. So here is the output of the whole of the model. So you got this XCB transformer dot output path, and here you can call the S3 bucket and to copy from this S3 bucket. So here you have the AWS, which is the command line of the AWS. Here you set you put this parameter S3, which you want is the service that you want to do something inside it. And here the copy of the S3 bucket. This is where you want what you want to copy. The recursive is a parameter, so you want to do the copy recursively. And here is what you want to copy inside the S3 bucket and where you want to copy it. So you can copy it locally inside another data directory. Okay. So you have built your model, you have tested your model, and you copy it to your location to see how in order to use it. Okay. So this is the first approach about how to build a model inside the AWS SageMaker with the APIs. And let's go to the second approach, how to do that with the AWS SDK. So AWS SDK has another approach. Here you are uploading, you take the data, you are uploading the data to the S3 bucket. This can be done with the API as at the beginning. But when you're gonna train the job and you're gonna create the model, you're gonna test the model. You can do that with AWS SDK, which creates the resources. You can see the resources, all kind of the resources that are created in real time, and you can monitor them. Okay. So here you have at first the service, which is the create training job, which trains the model. So you got the data already in a position, in a location, and what you have to do is to create and execute the training job. So what you can do is to call this, to make this service call with the create training job. Here you got the session again, which operates the functions, which all the functions is here. You get the SageMaker client. This is a subclass which can make the service call and not the calls of the APIs. And here, this is a service call with create training job. Here, what you have to do is to make a dictionary and put all the parameters of this training job inside it with the keys and the values, the right keys and the right values, and every detail of this training that takes place. So you make this training. This time, this is not an API that takes some arguments. This is a function, a service call that you have to make a dictionary before the call, and this dictionary you give it here, keys and values as it is, and the whole training takes place. Okay, and also you can call the logs for job afterwards in order to see the logs inside the AWS SageMaker notebook. And you got here the session again, logs for jobs, training. You give here the unique training name, training job name that you can take it from here, and wait true if you want, or wait false if you want to see the logs in real time. So what's the difference with the previous approach is that you can see the resource and the creation of the resource in the live. So where are you gonna see it? Let's see here. Let's go here. So here you got the Amazon SageMaker service. Okay, as you can see. And here I have made a discovery session previously for the AWS SageMaker. So I'm going forward to this section. So you got here the section training, and you got here this training jobs. Okay. So you click it here, and you see, as you can see here, you see you're gonna see the training job after the service call of this training job. And you can see here, this is will be the name of the model, the creation time, how much time did it take for the model to be created, and so on. Okay, and if everything is going well or not. Okay, let's go back again. So after this service call, a creation job is going to be created, and you're going to see it inside the training jobs inside the AWS SageMaker. Let's go to the next step. So the next step inside, the next step of this process is to create the model. So you have to create the model with the service, that is create model service. And what you have to do at first is that you have trained the model. So what is the training of the model? You got a model just like the XGBoost, and you train it with some data. So the model has some parameters that are going to be changed. These are parameters, as for example, the weights. So what you have to do, what you get at the end is only after the training is the new weights of the model. So you got a model that has a specific structure, and the weights are going to be changed. And you get at the end the change weights. This is the training at the purpose of the training. Okay. So how you can take the results out of the training? You can take it from the described training job. So this described training job service call describes the results. So you can take all kinds of the results of the training. So the duration again, that you can see that also inside the AWS SageMaker. If something goes wrong, when was the time that the training started? When was the time that the training was completed, and so on. So here you got the training, the session.SageMaker client. The service called this time is described training job. And inside that you have a unique training job name, which describes your training job. And this is the parameter. And all of this you can assign it to the training job info. After that, out of it you can take the so-called model artifacts. Okay, so the weights that are going to be changed after the training is what's the purpose of the training, and these are the model artifacts, these weights that that have been changed. So these weights are making the model artifacts, which we take it from the training, and are very important because you're going to give it in the next step. So at the second step here, you're going to construct the SageMaker model. You're going to construct it with the create model service call. Okay, so again, you have here the session, SageMaker client, and the service call is time with this create model. It's a new service that you have to call it. And here you give a unique name to the model. Okay, you give here the role, which is this model, which access do you want to give to this model. So this model has to be predicted and to be applied to some specific data, for example, if you want. And at the end, you have to give the primary container. So the primary container is the container that we have at the beginning, which includes the algorithm and the algorithm code actually, and after that the model artifacts, which are the weights that have been modified after the training. So you got here a primary container which has a dictionary with only two keys inside it and two values, the model artifacts that you get from the training job info, and the container which is XGBoost, the Docker, which directs to the Docker container, which includes the XGBoost algorithm. Okay, so you call this create model, and this creates another AWS resource, which is a model. Okay, where you can find it again. Let's go to see it. You can find it here. After the training, you got the job. You find it in the next section, inference, and here is the models. Okay, so here are the models that described here with the name, with the IRN, which is a resource identification and the creation time when the model was created. Okay, so this service call makes another AWS resource, as you can see, and you can find it here. Let's go back. So at the end, what you have to do is to test your model again to make an inference in order to see to find how good your model is. So you have here the create transfer job service that makes the jobs. That again, this is a transfer job, and takes the test data, makes batches out of it, transfer batch job, makes the batches out of it, and tests the model with these batches. Okay, so here we have the batch transfer job. You got here again session.SageMaker client for the service call. And here you got this create transfer job. Again, you have to make a dictionary which has all the keys and all the values that you're gonna give inside the create transfer job, and you give it here, key and values, or to test it with the corresponding values. Okay, with the corresponding parameters. And for example, specific instance types, specific instance count, and so on, that the SageMaker gonna use, and so on. After that, you have to do the transpose response. that you take, and this makes the inference in order to test your model. Okay, and the inference is made again. So after that, you can also have another function here, the wait for transform job, and you give here the unique transform job name, and that you take it from here. So this is the same thing, but I have put the other variable name. I'm sorry for that. And you get here the result. Okay, so here this is another progress bar until the transformation, the transform inference completes. And you're gonna see again the creation of another AWS resource inside the batch transform jobs here. Okay, so you're gonna see all kind of AWS resources inside these sections for the training and the inference. About how to train a model and make inference to test it. Let's go back. At the end, you have to put inside a specific S3 bucket. So you got here the default bucket. You put a prefix in order to make it the bucket unique with your model and with after the testing. And here you put this default, and this is the prefix here, and you assign it to the path to this variable. Okay, the path of the S3 bucket. And at the end, you copy the output again. So again, you use the copy function of the S3 bucket, and here is the output this time of this model, and you copy it to another data directory locally. Okay, so this was a brief tutorial of AWS SageMaker on how to build a model. I have shown two approaches. The first one is a high-level approach with the Python APIs, which you can use in order to make the easiest way, with the easiest way to make a build, train, and test and build at the end the model. So this is the easiest way you can have it in an easy way with no many details. But if something goes wrong, then this is a problem because you don't have much details of the jobs. In the second approach, you have a low-level approach, which you can make the service calls, and you make with every service call an AWS resource. You can see in real time the AWS resource to be created, and if something goes wrong, you see specifically where's the problem, and you can, let's say, change the code of this of the training or of the creation of the model or of the model inference. So this is more detailed, and this is if something goes wrong, this is a more detailed approach in order to find the error. So I hope that you liked this session. If you have any questions, write them down inside the comment of the video. And thank you for watching, and see you at the next session. Bye.